Have you ever noticed how tired your mind feels, even when nothing is physically wrong? The more you try to control life, the more anxious you become. You plan, you worry, you try to hold everything together. Yet peace keeps slipping away. What if the exhaustion you feel is not because life is too hard, but because you're trying to control what was never meant to be controlled? Today, we explore a simple but life-changing truth: you can't control everything, and that's not a failure. It's freedom. Welcome to Universe of Dhamma, a quiet space where ancient Buddhist wisdom meets the modern world. The truth you need: you can't control everything. The quiet exhaustion of control. Take a moment. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, let your shoulders drop. Unclench your jaw. Soften your breath. Now ask yourself, gently, honestly, how tired are you, not physically, but mentally? How heavy does life feel when you wake up in the morning? Not because you are lazy. Not because you are weak. But because you are trying to control too much. Trying to control outcomes. Trying to control people's reactions. Trying to control the future. Trying to control emotions that were never meant to be controlled. The Buddha understood this exhaustion. He saw how human beings suffer. Not because life is unfair, but because the mind refuses to accept how life truly works. We believe control equals safety. So we grip. We grip plans. We grip expectations. We grip identities. We grip relationships. And slowly, quietly, the mind becomes tense. The body becomes tight. The heart becomes tired. This is where suffering begins. Not with pain, but with resistance. Why the mind craves control. The Buddha taught that craving has many faces. One of its most subtle forms is the craving for control. We crave control because we fear uncertainty. Uncertainty feels dangerous to the ego. The ego wants guarantees. It wants predictability. It wants assurance that things will not change. But the Buddha taught, all conditioned things are impermanent. This world is not built on certainty. It is built on movement. Everything arises, everything changes, everything passes away. Yet the mind says, not this. Not now. Not to me. And when reality refuses to obey, the mind tightens. Anxiety appears. Anger follows. Sadness settles in, not because something went wrong, but because we expected control. In a world that flows, the illusion that keeps us trapped. Look closely. Have you ever actually controlled life? You may influence. You may guide. You may respond. But full control? Never. You didn't choose your birth. You didn't choose your body. You didn't choose aging. You didn't choose loss. Yet we blame ourselves when things fall apart. The Buddha never asked us to control life. He asked us to understand it. And understanding begins when illusion ends. Control is not power. Awareness is power. Letting go is not failure. Clinging is a moment of awareness. Right now, stop trying to understand. Just breathe. Feel the breath move in. Feel it move out. Notice how breathing happens. Without control. The heart beats. The lungs move. Life flows. Nothing needs your permission. And yet, everything works. This is the wisdom. The Buddha pointed toward. Impermanence is not the enemy. Most of our fear comes from one misunderstanding: we believe impermanence is a threat. But the Buddha saw impermanence not as something to fear, but something to understand. Think carefully. If pain were permanent, how unbearable would life be? If sadness never changed, how could anyone survive? Impermanence is what allows healing. It is what allows joy to return after loss. Yet the mind resists change, because change means uncertainty. The ego whispers, if I let go, something bad will happen. But the Buddha teaches, if you cling, suffering is guaranteed. Everything that arises will pass. This is not pessimism. This is compassion. When you truly understand impermanence, you stop demanding life to stay still. You allow moments to come. You allow moments to leave. And slowly, the heart becomes light. Surrender is not giving up. Surrender is often misunderstood. People think surrender means, I stop trying. I become passive. I lose my power. But in Buddhism, surrender means aligning with reality. Imagine swimming against a strong river. The harder you fight, the faster you exhaust yourself. But if you turn your body sideways, allowing the current to support you, you conserve energy. You survive. Life works the same way. Surrender does not mean you stop acting. It means you stop forcing. You still make effort. But without desperation. You still care. But without attachment. You still love. But without ownership. This is the middle way. Effort without clinging. Action without obsession. The Buddha walked this path. And invited us to do the same. Stories from the Buddha's teachings. Let us reflect on a story. A man once came to the Buddha, overwhelmed by grief. He had lost someone he loved deeply. He begged the Buddha to make the pain stop. The Buddha listened quietly. Then he asked the man to bring a mustard seed from a house that had never known loss. The man searched everywhere. Every home had known sorrow. Every family had known death. Every heart had known pain. He returned empty-handed, but transformed. The Buddha did not remove his pain. He removed his illusion. The illusion that life could be controlled. The illusion that loss could be avoided. And in that understanding, the man found peace. Not because pain disappeared, but because resistance ended. Now let's see how. Release the grip. Right now, bring to mind something you are trying to control. A situation. A person. An outcome. Notice the tension it creates in your body. Now breathe in gently. As you breathe out, imagine loosening your grip. Say silently, I allow this moment to be as it is. Feel the difference. Letting go does not mean you don't care. It means you stop hurting yourself by fighting reality. Stay here for a few breaths. This is the doorway to peace. Control versus responsibility. There is a subtle truth the Buddha understood deeply: you cannot control life. But you are responsible for how you meet it. Many people confuse control with responsibility. Control says, I must make this turn out the way I want. Responsibility says, I will meet whatever happens with wisdom. Control is rooted in fear. Responsibility is rooted in awareness. You cannot control how others behave. what the future brings. When change arrives. When loss comes. But you can choose how you respond. How you speak. How you care for your mind. How you treat others. This is where true strength lives. The Buddha never promised a life without storms. He taught us how to stand calmly within them. Final guided stillness. Wherever you are, allow your body to soften. Feel the ground beneath you. Feel the breath moving in and out. Say silently, I release what I cannot control. I accept this moment. I trust life. Stay with the breath. Nothing to fix. Nothing to force. Just being. The great letting go. The Buddha taught one final truth: suffering does not come from life. It comes from clinging. When you release the illusion of control, you don't lose life. You finally meet it. Peace does not mean everything goes your way. Peace means you no longer need it to. And this is the greatest freedom a human being can know. Thank you for spending this time with Universe of Dhamma. If this teaching brought you even a moment of calm, carry it with you.